what would you define a father as? So if we were going to take a step and, we talked about the husband, wife and bringing God into that, or submitting to God, not bringing God into it, but submitting to the reality of this is set up by him. What would you say the role of the father is?
One to take care of his family, one who is married to his wife, and God bless him with children, to be able to lead them spiritually, not necessarily by a provider, a tangible provider, but a spiritual provider, to be able to teach his family how to fish versus give them
Mm.
his children fish, right? To be able to teach them the word of God like they did, I believe, in Deuteronomy 6, where the father, the head in that family, taught their kids what their ancestors went through in Egypt and how God brought them out of Egypt, to teach them every day principles about the word of God. So everything is centered around the word of God when it comes to what it is a father. It's not about the tangible things, is about the spiritual things that we pass down to our children.
What do you mean it's not about the tangible things?
So many individuals, the world will create this atmosphere that a father is the one who provides, the finances, provides, the roof over the head, the gifts, the clothes, all those types of things, that the things that we can touch. See, all fathers don't have a roof over their head, but they have kids. You still are required to be able to teach them the principles that God has left us. So what do you say about those homeless fathers that don't have a roof over their head? Can they not still provide the spiritual? It's like, hey, I don't have this to give you. And some individuals will gauge that and say, well, my father didn't provide these things for me, but he can provide the wisdom and the word of God to them. That's the thing that will help them long term, versus me giving you things that I have to spend money on and I don't even have the money to give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I could get behind some of that. I think I'll just say this from obviously I come from a American middle class worldview, right? So I'm not talking about okay, here's what it is. There are some components to the tangible that it's like show whether I really believe the spiritual, right? So it's like if I have all these biblical answers, but there's no fruit in my life to be able to like pass to my kids, I do think that I do think most Americans can kind of, as men, we can default to the tangible things, right? And neglect the spiritual.
Yes, sir.
But I do think that there is something about I stewarded well, and so there's a roof over my family's head.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
let's come to this because this is pretty interesting, right? Like, I think when I first started the podcast, I would say like a father's a provider and a protector. It's typically like what we say. It's just fine and great. But provider in some instances can put us in the place of God if I think I'm the one making the seed, making the dirt, making the fruit. So if truly I believe that I'm receiving from God, then my job is to steward it well for my wife and my kids.
That's exactly what we had our conference on last year. The theme was the enemy or ally. And we talked about the provider, the protector, the warrior, and the creator. And the biggest conversation that we had is, are you a provider? And are you a protector? And then we talked about that in depth. It's like, what did you provide in this world that we live in? Nothing. God provides everything. Question number 2, can you provide for your family right now as we speak? No, you cannot provide for your family. If whatever it is that they needed, you're here, they're there. You cannot provide for them right now. Can you protect your family? This is what I ask a lot of the guys when we go into the prison, when we talk about provide and protect. How can you provide for your family and you're here? You can't provide for them. How can you protect your family and you're incarcerated? You can't. So how are you going to call yourself a provider and a protector when you can't even fulfill the own description that you shared with me?
Wow.
So we're not providers. Otherwise, we also will be called Jehovah Jireh, my provider. That's a name for God and God alone. We will not be called the protector, because Jehovah Nissi is the name that was given to him when that battle that took place during that particular time where they named that, I believe it was Joshua, when Joshua's the battle and holding Moses' arms up or
Okay.
whatever the case may be, it was along those lines where Jehovah Nisi was the name that was given to him. And God is our protector. He is our shield. I cannot put myself on the same level or the same title as him. We are stewards
Hmm.
of what he has given us.
All right, my friends, you've been hearing me talk about the Genesis program. I'm incredibly excited to invite you to it. Rise of Kings has helped thousands of men over the last 5 years discover the reality of their identity. And now they have launched the Genesis program for young men ages 13 to 17. You got Mondo Davis, incredible man, 11 children. He's working with his 16-year-old son. I'm working with my 16-year-old son. This is fresh. This is real. This matters. So we want to invite you to the 2-day event. Then after that, I'll be the coach for the 6-month mastermind where I'm working with you every 2 weeks. And then I'm working with your sons every 2 weeks, helping you to transition your son from a boy into a man. It is worth the time, the resources to really help your son see who he is young and early so that he can love, lead, serve a family and the kingdom. Go to riseupkings.com/FFN to register you and your son. Would love to see you in the program.